And just watching them as a club just seemed to just surprise everybody, Chris.
Yeah, well, I think what it is, Tony, I think they've just got so many things right over these, particularly over these last, 5-6 years as regards the recruitment. And they've probably done it in a way where it's not in people's faces. They've done it the hard way. And I think they've done it, almost behind the scenes, the work that they've done, the recruitment, the choice of manager, and of course, the latest manager seems to have taken it to another level. But it's just a club that have got so many things right over a period of time.
But that is what has been so impressive about them. And as we mentioned there, you've been part of this journey. You've been a part of the process of bringing in players into the club as well. And the fact that they've been able to unearth gems from all over the world. It's so broad where they bring players in from South America, as we've seen with, for example, Alexis McAllister. And then you've got Kara Matoma, for example, from Japan. They just have been able to find these incredible players who not only... have they come in? Well, what I was going to say is they've come in and they've really taken to life in the Premier League.
Yeah, but I think most managers will tell you that's one of the hardest parts of the game, which is the recruitment. Of course, the recruitment is always better when they're going into a good team, and what their players have done, they've got into a team that's grown over these years and have improved have improved. But it's the hardest part of the game. It's a structure that was set up quite some time ago, and they've just gone from strength to strength. But they put a lot of time and effort. I mean, even when Tony, when I went to the club, I left Norwich to what we had, which was, I think, two analysts at the time, one on recruitment, one on first team matters. When I went to Brighton, I think we had something like six analysts just on recruitment. So, they've put a lot of time and effort and of course, a lot of expertise. But it's the hardest part of the game. But they're all at this moment going into a team that really developing.
I mean, also, Chris, it's the players that you've had at the club as well. I mean, I can remember talking to you about Sully Marsh, unfortunately for him, he had a number of injuries at a certain time. But watching him this season go on to new levels has just been terrific. Watching Veltman come from Ajax and be 800,000 and be superb for Brighton.
Yeah, well, these are all either they're homegrown, and Sully Marsh is one, which really pleased to see his development. Was always, in my time there, a wonderful talent, but quiet lad, and probably it's taken a little bit of time for him to really assert himself from what he could show in training to consistently showing it on the pitch. And I'm really pleased to see that. But you're right, also Veltman was brought in, and had... I think in my time there, I think we looked at him. He had a big injury. I think it was a cruciate injury. And then, obviously, by the time he went to Brighton, the price had come down. So there are some players, I suppose, in some ways, might have been a little bit of a risk. But I think it's just the expertise that has gone behind the recruitment, which has been outstanding. And the most difficult bit, and the part where, of course, everybody is now looking.
In terms of the Roberto De Zerbi Brighton then that you're seeing right now, who are in the hunt for Europe, they're obviously contesting the FA Cup semi-finals today as well. What is the biggest difference you've seen since he's come into Brighton?
I just think it's the bravery. I think what this Brighton team over a period of time has developed into a really good possession-based team that are very comfortable in possession, play very expansive. I think with the new coach, I think they're braver now. I think they're going to win games. I think you can win games by of course, being a possession-based team, and of course that restricts the opportunities the opposition have. But you can also be a team that are prepared to go at the opposition more, and probably that's what I see in him. This team at the moment doesn't play with any fear, and they look like they can get a result anywhere.
And Chris, Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. We all know, seeing Brighton as favourites today, because many bookmakers have them in as the favourites. But it's always Manchester United. The name itself brings with it, a big deal to try and get overcome and beat Manchester United.
Yeah, well, I think it's also about these big occasions, and probably what you've got with a Manchester United side are a club and individual players that are used to being in these big occasions, these big positions. Whereas probably if you looked at the Brighton team, of course you've got McAllister that's fresh from a World Cup, but not so many that would have been used to playing in semi-finals of FA Cups and finals and these real big occasions. So it's about how they handle. The feel I have at the moment, Tony, is that they'll handle it fine, because I think that's what they've done all season, also against the big teams. So I think they will handle it fine, but it's these moments on these big occasions.